YouTube? Welcome to Fred's Full Throttle. This week we're back to the C8 Z06 with a handful of interesting news stories making the rounds. This is going to be a quick hit video, as by the time you're seeing this, my wife and I are going to be traveling for the next week or so to several national parks out in Utah. Don't worry, I already recorded an epic video for next week. Which is better, manual or DCT? I'm sure that one's going to stir up some controversy. Anyway, let's get right into today's video. As was posted on several news outlets, a C8 Z06 was spotted leaving a Ford Motor-owned facility this past week. The car was a hardtop convertible in Elkhart Lake Blue Metallic with the Z07 package. The headline reads a very cavalier Ford benchmarking the 2023 Chevy Corvette Z06. Pretty unexpected stuff. So, is there any merit to this? Quite simply, no. Let me share a word with you. Pareidolia. Pareidolia is the tendency for perception to impose a meaningful interpretation on a nebulous stimulus, usually visual, so that one sees an object, pattern, or meaning where there is none. I think that's pretty applicable here. The Ford fanboys are drooling over the idea of this, and so they're seeing what they want to see. It feels silly to even have to refute this, but I'm going to spend the next 60 seconds or so indulging. First, the article says that the car is in Ford's hands, without any proof or indication that that's the case. The photographer didn't talk to the driver, and there was no indication that that's true. Second, they say that it's entirely possible that Ford obtained it through a vehicle swap. This is completely false. No automaker is in the business of just giving their flagship car, which may I remind you is not even in the hands of customers yet, to a competitor for reverse engineering, benchmarking, or whatever made-up purpose the article suggests. When GM was benchmarking the Z06, did they just call up Maranello and ask Enzo's team for a 458 or a 488 that they had lying around? Heck no! They had to go buy those cars. I can say this very confidently. There is absolutely no way that GM is going to give any competitor a leg up to inspect and start analyzing a car, especially before it's had its moment to shine. Next, a single sighting of a car just driving out of a parking lot doesn't mean anything. Literally nothing. Now, if we saw it with a fleet of Ford GTs or Mustangs, and then we saw it repeatedly with engineers wearing Ford shirts in both seats, and they had laptops out, then maybe you'd have a more interesting story, but there is absolutely no proof or additional info to back up the wild claims, and this is no more than coincidental timing. And lastly, there are a multitude of reasons why the car could have been there legitimately. Both brands regularly meet on a variety of topics. An engineer could have been meeting somebody for lunch. The car could have been turning around in the parking lot. The list goes on. This article is just pure and wild speculation, nothing more. Now, over the past week or two, several more real-world videos of the Z06 have surfaced on YouTube, Instagram, and other social media. A few that stood out to me is a quick ride-along on the channel Keon Coming Through, as well as another Amelia Hartford video. The more we see of this car, the more we're getting a better sense of how it sounds, how it drives, and people's first impressions. What I've found is that the less staged, less produced videos, the better the value of the feedback. While revving the car sounds good, though I'm not really a fan of bouncing off the rev limiter every 5 seconds, hearing the more subtle sounds, like the crackles and pops when you're decelerating, the growl when the car starts, and seeing people's faces when they experience it for the first time is pretty great. Unfortunately, right now there is still an embargo on reviews, so we don't have anything more concrete than a lot of smiles. Which brings me to my last section of this video. One of the YouTubers that I subscribe to, Savage Geese, posted a quick teaser of him ringing out the car on the track to his Instagram channel. The video ends with a logo that says that his review of the car is coming out on October 3rd, just over a week away. The implication here is that this is likely when the review embargo lifts, and we'll quickly see a flood of actual reviews, driving impressions, and details about the car from non-GM people. This is one of the things that many of us have been patiently waiting for. If you haven't watched Savage Geese before, he's a very detailed car reviewer. His personality can sometimes come off a bit odd in that he's so quiet and calculated compared to most YouTubers, but he's methodical and careful to state exactly what he learns. He usually pops all the cars he reviews up on a lift, looking under the car for any hidden engineering secrets, then takes it out on the road, and then finally to the track. He's balanced and objective, and doesn't shy away from saying exactly what he thinks, good, bad, or otherwise. If the car has any immediate flaws or problems, He's gonna tell us. I, for one, am really excited to see several of my usual channels like The Smoking Tire, The Straight Pipes, Throttle House, and Top Gear review the car. Here's hoping that it lives up to everything that we're expecting it to be and do. Now, I said this would be a quick one, trying to film, edit, and upload all in the span of 3 hours today before we fly out. If you're seeing this on September 23rd, then I managed to get it done. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this, and until next time, Fred out!